This is somehow Link's first appearance on any of my tech bedroom tours. Hey, it's Karl. So it's that time of the year again for another bedroom tour, all the tech inside. If you've been following along, you should know that I'm currently building a new house. Obviously, with anything in construction, we've had a ton of delays. I'll share some B-roll now of the next bedroom, which should have already been done by this time. But you can see that we're kind of done all the drywall, we've done spray foam, and we're working on interior finishes. So hopefully in a couple months, that will be done. All of this stuff will move into that new place. Link will have a new home, and let's get off to the tech and of course the bedroom. So every bedroom tour obviously begins with the bed, which Link has made his official bed. That's where he sleeps, and my wife and I kind of sleep on either side. For those that don't know, we're in downtown Toronto in a condo, and if you've been following along long enough, like 7 years ago, this actually used to be one of my studio spots before I moved to the studio where you see most of where my vids are recorded. So bed, like I mentioned, it is queen size. All of the furniture here actually was given to me by Rogue Concepts, who's been one of my partner for years. In the 6 years that I've used this bed and this furniture, they've all actually held up perfectly. There's no weird squeaks. They are a premium product, like they're not anywhere near the price of IKEA or some of the cheaper stuff. But I think for furniture, once you're kind of out of that college stage, if you can invest into good pieces, that longevity is just so much better. You can kind of catch a sense of my style and the color palette. It's super minimal, super modern. So the woods are all in walnut. I think it gives the bedroom a really warm feeling with the contrasting white walls just to keep it nice, clean, and super simple. The mattress, which I would argue is maybe the most valuable piece of tech that you can invest into, since you spend a third of your day, a third of your life, since you sleep in it almost every day. You want something that supports your back. You want quality sleep. So this one is a hybrid memory foam and spring combo. It's from a company called Lisa. They've been rebranded, but I will leave the link of it. It once again has survived the test of time. All the fun activities that I do, all the sleeping that I do, all the sleeping that Link does in it. Once again, no weird squeaking, no weird pockets have developed over time. And I actually bought the same mattress in king size for the new place. Once again, it's something that you should invest into for quality sleep health. That is super important in my opinion. The only piece of orange in this room, once again, if you followed along, you should know that orange is my favorite color, is just the little throw that I've got over it. I actually sniped that from the New York Soho Hotel, which they were selling. And from the bed, the second biggest piece of tech, I would say, in the bedroom is just off to the side this way. So this is the Sony X95K TV. It's 75 inches. It was Sony's first foray into the OLED space. I've had it for a couple of years, and the performance on it has been really awesome. I've worked with Sony for a long time, and they're going to be decking out the future house with even larger TVs. I'm looking at that like 100-inch mark. But if you actually kind of see, we're surrounded by a lot of natural light. We're really lucky that we've got windows on like both sides. Even with all that light coming in, the viewing angles of this are great. You've got all the benefits of OLED. They're really deep blacks, great viewing angles. I usually watch Premier League. I'm a big EPL, Man United fan, and F1 on the weekends, and maybe before bed we kind of put a show on to kind of help us unwind. And I would say the newest pieces of tech actually live over this way. So this actually used to be an area where Link's cage was. Since he's now officially claimed his real throne, you can kind of see him off there snoozing away as his real bed. We've moved his cage away, and there lives the first piece of new tech. This is the Eufy S1 Pro robot vacuum, and it's been actually really useful as we kind of enter or leave winter going into spring. A lot of the snow is melting. Since we do have a pretty large balcony outside, Link likes to, kind of run outside. We take him for walks, and when he comes inside, his muddy little footprints kind of leave marks everywhere. This is both a robot vacuum as well as mop function kind of built into one. And typically how I use it, I recommend to do the vacuum function first to help pick up all the loose debris, so any little bits of mud, dirt, dust. Link's food seems to get everywhere, so thankfully this has an 8,000 Pascal suction power to pick up all the debris over all the carpets. One of the best features of this vacuum has to be the obstacle avoidance. With all the tech, with all the furniture, with all Link stuff on the floor, it really helps map out the entire space. You can actually see how it's fully mapped out my bedroom on the app here. And the mop function works as it's all around the ergonomics and design of it. So it has a water tank inside the vacuum itself, so it ensures that dirty water isn't pushed around all the time. It emits 300,000 dots at a time to measure potential obstacles. It generates a 3D image and uses LiDAR to help map out the room. You can kind of see that on the front bumper. And what I actually really like about the design is it's actually square shaped. When you think about most robot vacuums, they're like circular. That usually means it can never fully get into corners of a place, where this thing thing actually does really, really well. Even when I was filming this a little bit, I was surprised how it navigated through like my tripod legs of my camera really well. Even when I placed down the camera, it kind of sensed it right away, turned around and went the other way. Once the debris is being collected, that's where I turn on the mop function to really give the floor a deeper clean. I'm not saying that I drop my coffee or drinks all the time, but it does help pick a lot of the liquids up. And within the sensor, it can detect when it approaches a carpet, so it automatically lifts the mop so you aren't wet mopping your carpeted surface and you aren't dragging any wet liquids over something that's soft and not a hardwood floor. This vacuum really breaks the pain points of a traditional sweeper robot as it has that 2-in-1 mop function. It's like a set and forget. It's smart enough to do both, and it sets a new benchmark for cleaning. And finally, when it makes its way back to that charging station or docking station, it actually switches out the water from the dirty water in the vacuum to that clean water tank. So it kind of switches between both, so you're not just pushing dirty like liquid water around, and actually gives you a good clean. And it actually has this ozone cleaning method which kills 99.9% of germs. It washes and cleans the mop and even dries it and heats it up to 131 degrees to really help clean any germs. You can view the cleaning cycles and everything within the app. Once again, I've been super happy with it, and it's another great piece of tech as we kind of enter into spring cleaning phase. It's just a great piece to keep my place tidy as I have no time to personally clean. Next to the robot vacuum cleaning station, we've got my wife's nightstand table. Surprisingly, she has a couple pieces of tech, so she actually just has a little Google Nest hub to tell the time. Literally just a glorified clock, and she has a 3-in-1 Belkin charging station. She is a Team iPhone, so she typically just has her AirPods, her iPhone, and sometimes her Apple Watch. Every other day she just charges that. She's also got one of these eye rollers, which I love to use whenever I film these vids. Thanks, cat. On my side, I've got something pretty similar. I've got that little Google Nest hub, once again, just to tell the time. I find that the Google Assistant on it, because it's so old, has just been a bit buggy. Maybe those are something that I need to swap out. I do have a Logitech charger, the 3-in-1. Usually I just charge up the device that I'm using at that given time. I also have this little F1 helmet that I got from the Mexican Grand Prix. It's Checo's helmet for any of you F1 fans. I'm not too sure if he'll have a seat for next year. He's not doing too well at Red Bull right now. And also a little Darth Vader Lego build, as I love to build out Lego. As you can see over on this side, I've got another Technic build. It's just the green Defender. Behind that, a piece of fitness tech that Kat, my wife, uses actually way more than me. It's the Peloton. It's just the Gen 1 version. Sometimes she does at-home workouts because we live in a condo. We're limited to space. Somehow I got to the short end of the stick, and it lives over on my side. I think when we move to the new place, our basement will kind of be like our rec room gym combined. So hopefully no more Pelotons in the future bedroom. Looking around, I do have a Google Nest thermostat just to control the temperature. If any of you love to sleep like super cold conditions, I'm a big fan of it being a bit frosty in the bedroom. So like 19, 18 degrees, like is that like 69? Fahrenheit. Moving kind of this way to the last additions, I actually have this new piece of tech which is just over past the camera. So this is actually a fun one. I used to have a couple like picture frames here. Samsung actually released this year at CES their new like music frame picture speaker. I actually kept the label, so it's the Music Frame LS60D. So it's essentially a speaker built into a picture frame. You can actually have stock photos, but I've already put one of Kat and I from our engagement, so it's super special to me. You can just kind of turn it on and it pairs via Bluetooth. If you install the SmartThings app, you can kind of get them all synced together. I just kind of use Bluetooth to play music. Once again, if I'm cleaning in the space, if I'm hanging out with Link, just bumping a couple tunes is always a nice thing to do, and you have the benefit of having a nice little picture frame. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1. I'm a real big fan of it. It's more of like a lifestyle tech piece, and I love the fact that you can make it way more personable, and that was an easy sell to Kat since it's a picture of her and I. Super, super special to both of us. Actually, beside that is a little YouTube plaque. So this was a pretty big milestone for me when I hit 100,000 followers. I actually hit it in this room when this used to be like my studio, so I just have that there as a bit of a reminder. Over onto the far side of that table, I actually have this cool little watch stand. So this is the R-Works Type 1 watch stand. I'm a big like mechanical watch person. One of my newest pickups, the mint green Datejust with a fluted bezel on a Jubilee bracelet. I think it's like quintessential Rolex. Not the biggest Rolex fan, but thanks to MJ for picking that up for me actually. It was a beautiful gift from him and means a lot to me. And just like all my timepieces, I think I connect them to special moments. Like this one I actually got for my wedding. I think when you kind of look back on a timepiece and connect it with like a really special moment, I think that's how they have so much value, like intrinsic value, not like monetary value. And I just feel so fortunate, and I'm lucky enough to be in that position, and I can't wait to pass these down, you know, down the generations. Hopefully that's you know, sometime in the future. And above that, the only pieces of framed artwork on these walls actually are Kat. So she actually did her master's in Oxford. She spent a lot of time in London, England, so I think that's cool that those two pieces are up there. If you go throughout the rest of my bedroom, I just have a small little walk-in closet. It's actually super messy. My luggage is kind of just sitting there. I still haven't unpacked, as I was just on a bit of a road trip. I was in Barcelona with Hyundai, and before that in LA for a couple days with Sony, and before that in Austin, Texas for South by Southwest. So I've been living out of a suitcase for the past couple weeks. Happy to be home. I actually recorded this just so I could spend a lot of time with Link, even though he is snoozing. A cool little tidbit about him and this place, if any of you are actually like hockey fans, so Austin Matthews, like he had a dog, Felix, and they are buds, so he actually signed this jersey kind of calling out Link, which I thought was super cool. It'll be sad to leave this place, but it's been a long time coming. That's kind of been like the tech bedroom tour of this place, so a couple new pieces. If you're interested in any of the tech, any of the furniture, I will leave it kind of listed down below. The Eufy S1 vacuum actually is right now on a Kickstarter. You can save around like 40%. Once again, leave that in the description. If I missed anything, let me know. If you have recommendations when we move to the next spot, it still has, you know, super large windows. I think my next bedroom tour, hopefully I can create one with your guys' like input. I'm looking at new furniture, finishes. I've got my bed lined up. It'll be nice to have a king-size bed so Link doesn't take up all the space. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll catch the rest of you in one of my next vids, and I can't wait to share more about that new spot coming soon. Peace.